Hello and welcome back to the Love is Black podcast. I'm Carice.
I'm Harvey.
And he's dancing, and I'm not sure why he's dancing. Why are you dancing, Harvey?
I'm happy. I'm alive. I'm breathing. I'm sitting next to my hot wife. You know, life is good. You know what I'm saying?
All right, I guess so. Should I be dancing then? I guess I should be dancing.
I mean, if I have to suggest you dance, then maybe
I probably shouldn't be dancing. I got it. I won't dance.
I'm just thanks. You know, I'll bring all the energy this week. You know, just what I do. It's okay.
It's all good.
I'm used to carrying the weight.
Yes.
Of energy upon these shoulders. Oh yes. Oh yes.
All right. And with that, we're going to move on swiftly into the podcast episode because this is a lot going on right now. Okay. So I'm super excited because we have a very special guest today that is going to bring a little sizzle.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
I like it. A little sizzle to the podcast. It adds a little bit of an element that I don't think we've really explored yet.
No, that's why it needs to happen.
Yes, and I'm super excited about it. So let me tell you a little bit more about him before we bring him on. But PassionPoet is a writer, poet, and performer. In fact, he has loved words from as far back as he remembers. From writing his first book of poetry at 14, he has grown into an internationally known award-winning poet and author with 6 books of poetry under his belt: Erotic, Seduction, Offering, Quotes of Passion, Passion, the GEMINI Project, Make It Rain.
I like that.
Those are some titles there, okay? Yes. Like if you're not intrigued or like halfway through in your Amazon cart uploading, then you should be, okay? He's also an entrepreneur running Passionate Words Editing Services since September 2020. Please welcome PassionPoet.
Yay!
Hello, everybody.
How are you, sir?
I am blessed. I am very good. How are you doing?
I'm good.
We are great. Harvey was dancing like a second ago.
So oh, Billy, yeah, I had myself muted because I was laughing my ass off. Like, I'm like, what the hell? Yeah, I like him.
Yeah, he's excitable. Excitable. That sounds like a title, actually, for another book.
Yes, it does.
Excitable. Okay, you can have that. That's all you.
But thank you so much for being with us and for sharing with us and our audience. I think we're gonna have a lot of fun today talking about everything.
Yeah.
If you don't mind, just tell the audience just a little bit more about yourself. I know I read through your fantastic, very well accomplished bio, but.
All right, well, let me see if I can remember this. I'll start by giving you a piece that I always start my performances with, if that's okay.
Of course.
Absolutely.
I have the power of the heart, but don't you start thinking of Captain Planet. Far from it. Words slice emotion with surgical precision, lyrical like sabers twist in the air like fighting samurai, and I am a Jedi wielding the power of the Force. But this isn't the sight of dark or light. It's like my might comes from wielding emotions, flinging lyrics like potions, making you sigh as my words get you high or wet, as I get you to come to the conclusion that my words were the intrusion that made you weak-kneed. My friend, breathe. Well, passion's power isn't always sex. Sometimes I get vexed, releasing word streams so potent they render evil impotent, tongue-lashing injustice, destroying discrimination. I fight evil when I see it in a nation, and no, I'm not talking about the newspaper. My words cater to every emotion, from grief to love to pure seduction. Every word designed for maximum reaction. Who am I? I am emotion. I am fire. I am devotion. I am desire. I am passion.
Okay.
Wow. That was a powerful introduction. Oh, wow. Okay. He's fanning me now. Wow.
Yes. So that is, whenever people ask me to introduce myself, that's how I start. I've been a spoken word artist from 2011, but as I said in my bio, I've been writing poetry from age 14 and writing short stories from a little bit before that. I've just been a lover of words and of women, not always in that order. But from as long as I can remember. And yeah, I started writing erotic poetry at about age 20. And I'll give you a secret, it's basically because I wasn't getting any. So I had to find a way to get all that energy out. But yeah, pretty much. I started performing, like I said, in 2020, in 2011 or so, 2012, 2013, people were like, okay, you've been performing all these years, where's the book? And so that's why I started writing. So erotics, there are, what you read in the bio is the order in which the books were created. Erotic first, seduction, offering, quotes of passion, the Gemini Project. And actually, that's not true. Make It Rain came first, and then Passion, the Gemini Project. Because yeah, Make It Rain is a novel, and the others are books or anthologies of poetry. Sorry, poetry anthologies. So the rest of poetry anthologies, Make It Rain is a full novel.
Nice. So as an author writing erotica, have you found that it helps you when you are, with the ladies in any way, shape, or form?
Well, have you heard my voice?
Wow.
That's my dude. That's my dude.
No, honestly speaking,
you started out saying that you started writing because you weren't getting any. So
I know, right? Honestly, I'll say this. My poetry created, my poetry allowed me to come out of my shell. I'll put it that way. And I did not have, I was very, very, I was the opposite to who I am now. I was very, very timid, and really, I'll use this analogy very shamefacedly because I really don't like the character. But if you remember Family Matters back in the day, that show that used to, I never watched Family Matters. I can't stand Urkel, honestly, because that trope was my life.
Aww.
So I and after, to be quite honest, after my first divorce, I got into my poetry to sort of heal and to get back to myself. And my poetry is what got me into who I am today. It got me to shape myself into, you know what? Screw them. They don't, whoever it is that don't believe in me, I believe in me. And if how censored am I on this show? Can I cuss on the show?
Absolutely.
Say whatever you want.
Okay, great. So basically, I said to myself, the way how I felt, I if you can handle me, fuck off, like literally, right? And basically, deliberately living an uncensored life is what got me to this point. Yeah. So yeah, that's me.
I will say, and just to kind of give a quick insight into how we were lucky enough to get to talk to you. Mm-hmm. Occasionally in my early young days, I used to read an author named Zane. And so randomly, I was thinking of this author one day in the last few months or about, and it's almost like these people at Facebook heard me thinking that, because then I think I went on to social media and we followed you on Instagram, and you came up and one of your posts came up. I love your posts. They're erotic. They are just like belligerent. It's just, I'm gonna say this, whatever. Sometimes it's pictures, sometimes a quick little poem. I'm like, I love this already. And I'm like, I gotta see if we get lucky enough to talk to you. So that's how, I wanted to talk to you, and just hearing you kind of talk about it. What I wanted to ask is, you said you started writing stuff when you were 14, so young. Did any author lead you to erotic writing, or was it just, like you said, because the lack of activity?
No, it was a lack of activity. I grew up in I grew up, if you would believe it, as a very strong Pentecostal Christian, and so that I grew up with, you shouldn't do it, that kind of thing. So I had all this bottled up emotional and sexual tension, and obviously I can't fuck because I'm a nice little Christian boy, right? So I got it out with writing. Friends of mine who are my compatriots now, they said to me they knew that they knew I was still a virgin when I started writing poetry, because all of my poems, they said, were like, give me, I want, please let me get. I was like, are you serious? And she was like, I think, yeah, it was all I want to have sex. Basically, all of the early poems was I want to have sex till I actually did. And yeah, so.
A sense of desperation in that early poetry.
Right? I feel so ashamed.
Like, please.
Oh God.
When writing erotic poetry, how different is it being a poem versus having the room in maybe a novel or even a short story to write a more full character arc development and so forth?
Truthfully, it's more difficult to write the novel for me because I'm a poet. I think in verse. And when people actually wanted me to write a novel for years, and I refused to do it. And I said, I'm a poet. I think in verse. I can't think a whole sentence, far less. You understand? But okay, what happened was one day I decided, let me at least try to see what could happen. So I had no idea how to write a novel. So I went on Amazon, and I decided I found this book by Alan Watts called 90 Days to Writing a Novel, or something like that. The 90-day novel, right? Sorry, it was called the 90-day novel. So I bought it, and what I liked about that book was that it didn't start writing right away. Actually, for your first week, all you're doing is imagining. So you're creating your world, and then you're creating your characters before you write a word. Because for those who are listening to me and listening to us and know about marketing, people say that to market, you need to know your target audience, right? And I know, what the hell does that have to do with anything I've just said? But why I bring that up is I had to learn what they were teaching me in that book is you have to learn your character. You have to understand who this character is. You can't just write a story around somebody you don't know. So you have to actually understand, like, I had to know who, like, the two main characters of the novel are Rain. He was I think he was like 25 at the time. 25 to 30-year-old, I can't remember right now, and Jasmine. So I had to create those people and know who they were inside and out, so that when I put them in the world, I knew who they were gonna react, or pretty much how they were gonna react. So that's basically what happened. I created the world. I created Rain, then I created Jasmine, and then I watched them have sex, and I was like, oh shit, I gotta write this down. And that is exactly how Make It Rain started. So literally, I do not write with an outline. I write by my characters run my story. So I literally told the characters, I sort of had a conference with my characters, right? And I said, okay, we need to get to point X. This is the end. I want this result. This is the end. How you get there is up to you, but we need to get to this end. And so they were like, bet. And literally seeing some of the things that they were doing, I was like, how the hell did you get, So yeah, but we got there, and the book is out, but has been out for a couple of years. I know people are trying to get me to write a sequel, and so I have other books in my head that I just not gotten to yet. I have 4 more books in my head I haven't gotten to yet. So
Wow.
Okay.
4 more.
Wow.
yes, so
Crazy.
there's Make It Rain, and then there's Make It Rain, the Jasmine Chronicles, because Make It Rain, the original, is written from Rain's perspective. So point of view is Rain, right? From Rain's perspective. So you're writing the entire story again from Jasmine's perspective. So that's Rain 2. But then Rain 3 is called Rainfall. And Rain, to play on his name, but also the fact that he tries to be a good person, pretty much. And it didn't really work. So yeah, so that's sort of what the general gist of those 2 books. And they've been for years now, they've been sitting on my shelf, partially done. But yeah, it is what it is. I've had personal issues and personal things going on, and that's one of the things that stopped me. And then the other thing that stopped me was starting a business. So like yeah, I spend most of my time, my creative energy goes to my clients now, and I have to try to find a way to get some for myself.
Nice. Okay.
Okay.
We're gonna have to go back to that entrepreneur stuff.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
We'll get to that.
Yes, I had a question. It slipped my mind. I'm going to get it back.
It's coming.
Do you have something in the interim?
I guess I'll ask something while you're thinking. Okay. So now I lost it. Oh, this is ridiculous, but I got a question right off the bat. So your process, you kind of just mentioned it. So you kind of visualize it first. So she figured it out. So this book kind of helped you. Have you followed that? Has that affected how you write your poetry at all?
No, but you see, the poetry just comes, right?
Okay.
Because I write poetry based on how I'm feeling.
Okay.
So when I'm hungry, when I'm horny, I write. When I'm hungry, I write. When I'm happy, I write. And so it's based on how I'm feeling. So I can't write an erotic piece when I'm angry. That piece is gonna come out angry, literally. So I literally start my erotic pieces while flirting with some random woman in my DMs. Right. So I get all hot and horny, I get all turned on, usually got her wet and panties dripping, and it was like, hey, that's a poem. So
that's a poem. All right. That is inspiration.
Yes.
So my question really comes from a different angle, right? Because as a man, you can write erotica, really well, I'm sure, from the male perspective, whether it's a lot of taking or a lot of giving. Male perspective, you got that down, right? How do you draw inspiration for a woman's perspective?
Honestly, it's a lot harder, obviously. Like for instance, when Jasmine got pregnant, 2 things I did. 1, remembered when my own children were being born, and 2, did a lot of research. So I have poems from the female perspective in my books. Not a lot of them, but I do have a couple from my book, from like Devour Me. Devour Me is written from a female perspective. And pretty much like I would say having the love and respect that I do for women makes it a little easier to put myself in their shoes. I know what turns women on from doing it, speaking it and seeing their reaction. And I know I am, as an artist, I have the distinct advantage of being very, very connected to my emotions, which is a female trait. So I'm very, I draw from that. Women, it is said that men are action, do this, do that, do the third. Women feel. And that's a very broad generalization, I admit. But that's how I write, basically. I want to put you into I want to put you into the scene, and I want you to feel stuff. I want you to be smelling what they're smelling, seeing what they're seeing, interacting in the way that they're interacting. And my interactions with women over the years has helped with that. Helps me to remember when I did this, she did that. And so because I did at the very beginning a sort of a characterization of Jasmine, I sort of know who she is. So I started it's a little bit easier. I find it, or it was easier 3 years ago when I was writing Make It Rain. It's a little bit more difficult now writing Jasmine Chronicles because I've never been pregnant. So I have to figure out, because I'm writing now from her perspective. So it's not a matter of just go to the doctor. She has to feel the, baby kicking. She has to feel, the anxiety of not knowing who the father is, that kind of stuff. So I guess that's one of the reasons why it's a little bit more difficult to write from her perspective for an entire novel, but I think I can get it done.
Yeah. No, it makes sense too that you would draw from some sort of personal experience too. Yeah, so I get that. My follow-up question to that, although it doesn't necessarily relate, so maybe it's not a follow-up question, it's just a new question, but I'm sure you've gotten a lot of, reviews and just personal messages from fans, people who really love what you do. Now, with that, I associate erotica, really, honestly, with really good R&B music, right? Like baby making music. Mm-hmm. So I imagine these are like baby making books.
Yeah, damn straight they are.
Have you gotten any sort of feedback from people that, there are little children out there that are only here on this world because of Passionate Poet?
Well, not specifically, but I'll tell you this. You see this? This is my first book, Erotic. Why I show you this is because I have a disclaimer in this book.
Oh.
Okay. The disclaimer says, and I quote, "The author, Robert R. Gibson, otherwise known on stages locally and internationally as PassionPoet, is not to be held responsible for or is not legally bound to any population explosion in any part of the world 9 months after anyone reads the contents of this book." Thank you.
Oh my God.
Oh. Okay, I get it. That would stop me from telling you too.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. That's a shirt, like your picture on the front, and I told you, and then the thing on the back.
Actually, I have an Etsy store, so I'm gonna steal that idea. I have an Etsy store, so I'm definitely gonna steal it.
Listen, you can have that. Let me hold one of those shirts, bro. That's all I'm asking. That's all I'm asking.
The shirt.
Oh, this is too much.
Oh man. Yes.
Let me see. What was I gonna ask? So I mean, obviously, I found you by seeing your posts on Instagram, and you kind of mentioned that we kind of need to know who we're marketing, who we're trying to reach. Who are you marketing when you put stuff out on Instagram? Who are you trying to reach?
I want to reach not just women, but I want to focus on women, and I want to focus on women who are self-assured, sexually active and sexually free, who understand that they are sexual beings and are not afraid of that sexuality. I also do, honestly, because I do want to reach those who are afraid of their sexuality as well, but only from the perspective of showing them that they can grow into that confident woman that they can be. I want to, so literally in my Facebook and more so my Instagram insights, the split is about 80-20. So 80% women follow me. Wow. And so when you are coming to my page, I want that you see yourself as beautiful. I want you to feel that beauty. Yes, I want you to come. Yeah, Yes, I want you to be. Yes, I want, but it's beyond that. It's under that. It is sexuality and spirituality are linked for me. That's the first thing. So what I'm actually trying to do is use the sexuality as a vehicle to allow you to bring yourself closer, one, to divinity, and two, to yourself, so that ultimately you come out being empowered. And that's it. When I started my podcast, The Wet Spot, I say that the podcast is a marriage of the erotica and education, and I also say that it is a safe space for sweat, tears, and sensuality. Sweat, obviously uncomfortable situations. Tears, you being vulnerable sometimes makes you cry, and of course I don't have to explain the wet part for the sensuality. So right, but that's been going now for 2 years. And what happens with that is I get a chance to meet. This is one of the first times in a long time that I'm actually being interviewed, because I'm actually on the other side doing the interviewing. So this is actually pretty cool. I haven't had this experience in a little while, so I'm pretty good. But yeah, to answer that question, who I'm speaking to directly is a woman who is either, one, she is extremely sexually aware, or two, she is not, but wants to be sexually aware.
Okay. And I think we're at a good time now. I don't know, maybe 30, 40 years. I don't know. We're in a real explosion of sexual enlightenment, specifically for women.
Yes.
Because they were supposed to be kind of hidden in the back, nothing, talk about it. And now women are just,
it's all over the place.
So so your timing is perfect. You're just expressing probably a little bit better than women can what they're feeling. So you must get a lot. Obviously 80-20, you said a lot of women follow.
Yeah, 80-20. I mean, I secondarily, I want men to understand that there is a right way and a wrong way to speak to women. Because even as much as I am speaking, even as much as I talk sex, even as much as I have pussy and dick and saying those actual words are on some of the books, you will never hear me degrade a woman. You will never hear me call her a bitch or anything like that. The fact of the matter is, what I want a man to see is not that this is a vehicle for him to go this is not a sexist tool for him to get between a woman's legs. This is a way for him to recognize women are queens and he needs to come correct. If he needs help in coming correct, this will help, but it needs to change up here. So I am mostly speaking to women, but I also secondarily want to speak to men, because I tell women this all the time. I'm a man. I cannot give you permission to do the things you need to do. I cannot give you permission to be a woman, to be feminine, to be sensual. Those are the things I need you to be, but I can't give you permission. But maybe I can give you space. Maybe I can give you space. The world is unfortunately very male oriented.
Yeah.
Let me give you space to be the woman that you need to be. And that's what my books do. At least I hope so.
I love it. That's very inspiring. Very, very inspiring. I kind of want to ask the both of you men while you're both here. I always hear that, there are certain traits, not physical ones, but I guess, I don't know, what's the word I'm looking for? Not physical, but it's something that that you can sense about a woman, right?
Intangible. I think the word
intangible. There you go. See, I just have to ask. Yes, I have to ask somebody who's good with words. Okay. There are these intangible things that can make a woman sexy. What would you say, and you could each give one, but is like the top thing that makes a woman sexy intangibly?
For me, it is, I guess, the same thing that they would say about me: confidence. Confidence is a big one, and confidence and not arrogance. Confidence and not, but confidence. And with that confidence, everything really spins from that confidence. That being said, a shy girl does turn me on, but that's a different topic. That's my dom side coming out. Let's the submission turns me on, but that's another topic. But yeah. But seriously, confidence and wit. Those are two things that you will catch me with. Confidence and wit. Confidence, because obviously when I flirt, once you are confident, you're gonna flirt back. And once you start flirting back, you catch my attention. And then wittiness, because as y'all can probably tell, I love to make people laugh. So if you are not only can catch that wave and turn it back around on me, and like literally that confidence, intelligence, and wit, and you got me. And if I know for a fact that you turn on by my poetry, that's a bonus.
I'm sure.
I mean, how could they not be? Okay.
For me, I didn't expect to be answering a question, but
it's just one question.
I know. Oh yeah. I know. See, he took my answer. I know. For me, confidence is a big thing. I don't want to say the same thing. I think this is kind of a woman who knows how attractive she is. I don't even mind a little bit of arrogance. So just a little bit. A woman who's aware that she's attractive, but doesn't use it as a weapon. But somebody who's
strong. That's it right there.
Exactly. So a woman who knows that she walks into a room and she's going to be noticed and she's going to be looked at, but then she's not off-putting about it. So it's not like, and as men, we have a specific, because we're the ones that will be approaching a woman most times. So a woman who walks in and you're like, damn, but you're like, I could probably talk to that woman, versus other women who are fully aware of the aesthetic that they provide. And there's just like this, I couldn't even stop. I shouldn't even be with her.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
So it's not arrogance, it's I'm bad, but not so bad that you can't talk to me.
Yes.
And it can be selfish. I don't know, it might be seen, I don't know, not seen, it's probably a bad thing for a man saying that. But a woman who knows how bad, how beautiful, how amazing she is.
But that's really exactly right.
And it does it in a nice way. So that
confidence, man. There's something about that confidence, man. When you come in with that little bit of sassiness, like when you looking for that little bit of sassiness, confidence with that little bit of sassiness, like yeah, I didn't know whether to kiss you or put you over my knee and spike the ass. Yes. But if you give me the chance, I can do both. Like, yeah.
That's another episode.
I love it. This is fun.
Oh, this is nice.
Okay, so tell us what else you're up to. I know you spoke about, being an entrepreneur. What do you have going on right now? Promote.
Okay. All right. So I have not written in a good while, but for those who are interested, the books are on my website, passionpoet.com. You can check passionpoet.com. Because you can also go to Amazon and search for I didn't actually use my stage name. You actually would have to go and look for Robert Gibson and then look for this. So really, don't even, because I'm like Bruce Wayne. I see myself as, like, he doesn't see himself as Bruce, he's Batman all the way through. So I literally only use Robert in like polite company, right? So there's passionpoet.com. You can check that out. You have the access to the books there. And what I really should do is put links to I should put links to the podcast on the page. But to find me where I usually hang out, which is Instagram, is Bajan, BAJAN .passionpoet. So that's the handle, BAJAN.passionpoet. And for those who have caught it, I am Barbadian by descent. I am Barbadian. I live in Barbados. Right now, I'm in Barbados. So that's where my accent comes from. And that's where the Bajan is. We call ourselves Bajans here. So I'm Bajan Passion Poet. So it's the Barbadian Passion Poet. pretty much. And just on a point of notes, PassionPoet is one word. I don't know why people always have it as 2 words, but it's like literally you're spelling my name wrong. Anyhow, so it's actually one word. PassionPoet, capital P. Yeah, but that's just me being semantic. Let me continue. The Wet Spot is the podcast. The Wet Spot podcast. So it's the .wet with 2 T's, WETT .podcast. Well, the Wet Spot podcast, the Wet Spot podcast, with always dots in the middle. I'm a stickler for punctuation, forgive me. And like I said, you can, but if you, so that's, you can check out the page, and what I do on both Instagram pages, I use my Instagram stories. I call them naughty polls.
Oh.
So that's where the questions would come. I would wake up and they're very, very random. I actually asked the community, and that community is spelled CUM community, by the way. Anyhow, I asked the community, do you want me to schedule these? So like, that naughty polls are coming on Thursday. And they're like, no, we want the spontaneity. So I would wake up one morning and I would just think, let's ask questions about BDSM today. And all of the questions will be about BDSM. Are you a sub? Are you a dom? What was your latest fetish? Give me 3 things that turn you on. Anything, it could be anything. And I use both pages for that. So both pages get that. So sometimes I would be on PassionPoet and you would get the naughty polls there. Other times, depending on what I'm doing, I'll be on the Wet Spot. What that means is, guys, follow both of them. Thank you. Yes. Okay. On the flip side, we haven't really touched it, so I'll try to do it very quickly now. I am an author and a writer of 6 books of my own. What that did for me is that I pretty much have gone through self-publishing all the way through on multiple occasions. And so I use my company to teach not really teach, but I take you as a writer who wants to publish, who wants to be an author, who wants to be a published author, from concept to completion and beyond. That's our tagline, from concept to completion and beyond. So what that means is, if you have just an idea about a book, then you can come and do a consultation with me, and we get your juices flowing, and you get some ideas. A couple of customers have come to me. They knew they wanted to write a book. They had no idea what they wanted to write, and left not with one customer, one client. She left not with 1 book in her head. She left with 6 books, and she had to decide, okay, which book am I going to start with now? I do the editing. I do so there are the 3 types of editing. There's the line editing, there's the proofreading, and then there's the deep editing, the developmental editing. We also do the formatting of the book, making it look like a book. For people in the Caribbean, I also help you get your ISBN numbers. I know there's a different way of doing it in the US, but for the Caribbean region, I have the forms for people to sign up, and I actually do the emailing for them, etc. I have a cover designer, I have an illustrator on board. So basically, you come in with an idea, you will leave with an actual book in your hand, right? So this is one. These are people that I've actually done work for. This is another.
Oh, nice.
This one is a big, thick one. This is another one. This is a memoir.
Oh, memoir.
Yeah. So I don't just because I'm a poet, I don't only do poetry. Just because I'm an erotic writer, I don't only do erotic books. I've done Christian devotionals. I've done self-help books. I've done a children's illustrated book recently, right? And so to find out more about that, you can go to Passionate Words Editing on Instagram, which is passionate.words.editing. There's those full stops again. Passionate Words Editing, or Passionate Words Editing Services on Facebook. I don't really use the Facebook as much. I love Instagram, but I got to start pulling back in people onto Facebook. So yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on right now with me. So there's the Instagram pages for the, and I'll say the PassionPoet and the Wet Spot are all under another company called, my second company called the Erotic Empire. Right? So the Erotic Empire comprises of PassionPoet and the Erotic and the Wet Spot. And Passionate Words Editing is a separate company, which is the editing side. And to be honest, one of the reasons why I did it that way is for those Christians who might feel a little uncomfortable with an erotic writer working on their book. There's nothing sexual at all going on the business side, so you can come in and feel comfortable
too.
Separated too. So yeah, that's pretty much all there is of me. Yeah.
Well, that's a lot. You said that's pretty much it, but that's a lot. Yeah. That is phenomenal.
You're busy.
Exactly.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I want to be more busy. So anybody like
don't worry, we'll have all the links for everything in the show notes. Everybody can go down and check below. I have had a really good time interviewing you, speaking with you, just learning more about you. This was a fun episode. So I'm excited.
Yes, so excited. Thank you.
So PassionPoet, you got anything good to send us out with?
Ooh.
Well, let's see. I can just choose one at random, right? Because so let's see. There is anointing, there is worship, and there's worship too. Which one do you want me to read?
Anointing?
Anointing, yes.
Okay. Anoint my lips with fiery kisses. Baptize me in your oil flowing from the passion of our joining. Give thanks and praises as we lift our hands, swing our hips, gyrate while laying prostrate in reverence before the goddess, who rewards our worship with molten lava seeping into hidden crevice. Voices raise unbidden. We come together with nothing hidden, no secrets, naked inside and out, souls knitting, weaving intricate tapestry, two lives, one mind and body connecting at the center. I prepare for my baptismal dip first, immersed completely within gripping folds. Then we rise and fall repeatedly until we call to the goddess for release. We call, but she in wisdom holds her peace. Waits for tension and momentum to build, ascending passion's precipice with skill. We reach the summit, admire the view, then plummet towards climactic boom, feeling fear of impending doom. But also freedom so intense, we feel our souls expand. Momentarily as immense as the galaxy. And then our worlds collide. Goddess anoints us with eternal bliss. Fiery passion engulfs all reason, all senses overwhelmed. Exhilaration crests till our season of togetherness slowly subsides. And we bask in the receding tide of our anointing.
Woo, okay, I'm good. All right.
That was phenomenal.
I need a drink. I don't know what to tell you.
You are powerful with words.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes,
thank you.
Sir.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you again and again and again. We are so grateful that you've taken time to share with us.
Well, thank you so much for having me. And I heard something about another episode. So anytime y'all ready to talk,
yes.
Anytime you all want to talk about BDSM or anything else so wicked like that, we could talk. We could talk. Because I have another poem called Filthy that will be very, very good for that topic. Anyway,
okay, we're gonna save that for part 2.
Yeah, exactly. Leave them wanting more.
Exactly. Yes. Sold. He will be back, audience. He will be back.
No doubt.
Well, Harvey, we have 100% come to the conclusion that love is passionate. Passionate. Love is many things.
But this good love is Black.